Hello everyone, today I'm taking a look into the age of antiquity as I check out the Late Roman Cataphract cavalry from Victrix Games. Okay, then the Late Roman Cataphracts, you get 16 cavalry miniatures in the bag. Here is the standard Victrix breakdown of parts, so by figure what fits what, who and where. That's the old school. Inside the bag though you also get the new diagram version of it, which makes life a little bit easier, although you really are just following numbers and letters, so it shouldn't be particularly egregious. The reverse shows how to make your horses. Again, simple enough. In the bag you get 8 sprues, 2 different types, so you get 4 horse sprues and then 4 for the men. As you can see here, the individual components are all lettered and relatively self-contained, so this little section contains all the pieces for this horse, so they're not spread around the sprue so much, which is nice. A couple of head options. Tails are specific to the horse, so you can see here this has got a very narrow plug and this one has a much thicker plug, and that's reflected in the aperture that they're going to insert into. So while you can swap the tails, you will have to do a bit of filling or filing and cutting. Nice level of detail on all of the horses. You can see the scaled armour is really well picked out, and with just little flourishes here and there you might be able to see it's not a smooth curve around the back. There are little parts where maybe one scale is slightly higher or lower than another, which gives a more realistic representation. The other sprue is for our cavalry themselves then, so again you can build 4 out of 1 sprue. Only one body is complete, torso and legs, and this one is wearing Lorica Hamata, the chainmail. So we've got 2 with chain, and then we have 2 that are chain with the lamellar scaling. A variety of weapons, so obviously Contos, 2 for each, and then the Spathia and a axe as side arms as well. And then there's also a standard there for the big dragon banner. You can just see him here. Take a look around there. Nice amount of heads. Some are specific to bodies though, so there are 3 for the body here. So again, there's some limitations in which head can go where if you want to start messing around. Okay, so having built up a set to take a look at them, the build themselves very straightforward. For the main part, as you can see, the Draco is 2 parts. It fits onto the flat standard. There's no key there, so what you just have to do is make sure you have aligned it correctly. Look at it from every angle to make sure it's centered. A little dimple or something may have helped make that a little bit easier, but it's not a major issue. Size-wise, they are approximately 40mm to eye level and roughly 30mm to horse eye level, depending on where the head is. And they are about 54mm from nose to tail-ish. There are a couple of multi-part builds for the Contos. So this one is my favourite because it goes straight on. Both arms are attached to the lance and it just goes straight onto the body, so no messing around. However, this gentleman consists of arm holding the front of spear, arm holding the back of spear, and that arm terminates at the elbow, and then there's the upper shoulder to elbow. So 1, 2, 3 pieces that need to be aligned, and you can see I haven't got it quite perfect. So there's a slight kink in this. That is probably the fiddliest part of putting these together. There's 2 on the sprue that are similar in the build style, where you have to deal with sections of arm. And again, they're a little bit fiddly to manipulate. I would suggest using a gel polystyrene cement, so you've got a bit more working time. Normally I use a very thin CMA weld, but it dries almost instantaneously, so for something like this you do not want to be doing that. The last one I went with is one of the leader types with that conical helm with face mask. There's actually 2 options for the face mask on it. So your cataphracts done in the Parthian style for your late Romans. Obviously the helmets are very distinctively late Roman, so using them as sort of Parthian or Sarmatian is not really a goer without changing those helms. But it's a really nice set of plastic heavy cavalry, not shock. They just sat there like tanks, unable to be moved, and then would stab the living hell out of everyone. But yeah, beautiful set. I have heard reports that some of the late Roman cataphracti were also equipped with bows as a secondary weapon. So maybe, depending on what period you're gaming, you may want to have a look at grabbing some of the spare quivers from the late Roman mounted archers and just slapping them on behind them if you want to do the terma of those. But there we have it, the cataphracts. There we go, a terrific set of figures. Lovely box size, 16, nice chunky number. For any of the games you're going to be playing, you could probably squeeze 2 units for a DBX style game with fucking hiccups. And let's try that again without the hiccups. So there we go, folks, a great bag of cataphracti. 16 models in there as well, so a nice chunky amount, which means depending on the game you're playing, could be multiple units in that one bag, which is always nice, especially when you're playing ancients. They are obviously kitted for late Roman period, but they are mentioned as far back as the Josephine revolt, so they may even be sort of the mid 1st century AD. You may have to change some of the helmets. If you've got extra plastics kicking around from Victrix, you might be able to do a bit of head swapping. Obviously, one of the bodies is specific to that conical helm, but the others all have a neck that generally you should be able to pop the regular heads onto. So could be an interesting little conversion project for people who are after some additional shock and awe with their ancient force. Let me know what you think of them below. Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.